This conference will now be recorded.
So let us discuss about how to handle radio buttons.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So in this session, we will talk about how to handle radio buttons. Right click, then new class. Handling radio buttons. The same code, but URL is changed. Code is same, but URL is changed. Wait for 5 seconds. Thread dot sleep 5000 milliseconds. Close application. Driver dot close. Thread dot sleep. Right. Now this is the URL of that application. Now see, in this page, there are so many radio buttons are there. But what I want is, I would like to work with water, beer, wine. These three I would like to perform. On these three radio buttons, I would like to perform the operations. So as usual, first what we need to do, we need to find out this box, because under the box it contains 6 radio buttons. Under 6 we require only these three. So first what we will do is, let us get the element information so that you can see which one you can use it. Right click, inspect. So totally it contains 6 elements inside, but what we want is the last 3, like water, beer, wine. Okay. So first what we need to do is, let us find out this box. Right click, inspect, right click, inspect. Right click, copy, XPath. So this is the XPath of this element. So now what we can do is, this is the complete XPath it is giving. I'll try to optimize it. So I'll take up to here. I'll take from this what I'll do is clear console, put $x double quotes and try to put the X path. Now see, the output is showing. That means the X path, whatever it is showing, that is correct. Okay, whatever it is showing, that is correct. So I'll try to use this X path for finding this box. It's a web element of box. Driver dot find element by dot X path. It's a web element. Find element, it returns web element. I'm giving the name as box. Web element, import web element. Right. So under box, I wanted to find out the specified check radio buttons. Specified radio buttons. Box dot find elements by dot. So which property you are going to use? So out of this 6, we required only these 3. So for these 3, what is the common property? For these 3, common property is input, type, and then name. If you are going to use input and type, above also it contains 3. So you will get 6. But what I want, only those 3. For these 3, what is the common property? Name. All these 3 is coming under name, like group 2. So based on the name, I can find out the elements. By dot name, and here I'm using group 2. So find elements, it returns list of web element. List of web element, and here I'm mentioning specific radio buttons. Specific radio buttons. The list is coming under Java util package. The list is coming under Java util package. Number of radio buttons is equal to specific radio buttons dot size. The list name is specific underscore radio buttons. So let us find out, run as Java application. I don't know why it is giving synchronization issue. Okay, we'll do one thing. Just wait for 2 seconds or 1.5 seconds. Right click Java application. See, in the real time, people are not encouraged to use this thread.sleep. There are different kind of wait statements will be there. So that we will see in the coming section. So the number of radio buttons is 3. Okay. So we would like to get the information about those radio buttons. Displaying the radio buttons information for web element. Let's say I'm giving the name as radio button, the variable name, colon, this specific underscore radio buttons. The list name is specific underscore radio buttons. Right. Okay. Radio button dot use get text. What happened? Radio button dot okay. Radio button dot get text. You are trying to get the text of each and every web element. So let's say here I'm giving element and you are trying to print element. Right click, run as Java application. It is not displaying any output. Why? Because on these radio buttons you don't have any text. If it contains text, then you will see the output. It is not containing any text. So that's why get text it is returning empty space. Right. Now what we need to do? So which one we will take? Now see, there is an attribute called value. Value is equal to water, value is equal to beer, value is equal to wine. So like that, it is containing. So what we can do? What we need to do is based on this attribute, we are going to retrieve the information. So to retrieve the element based on the attribute, there is a method called get attribute. And here I am mentioning like value. Here you are mentioning like value. Run as Java application. Run as Java application. Now see, water, beer, wine. So out of these three, which one is selected? If element dot is selected, what is a web element? Radio button. Dot, there is a method called is selected. So whether the particular element is selected or not, to check that, there is a method called is selected. So if it is selected, then go and get the element information. Right click, run as Java application. See, for radio buttons, you don't have like on and off operations. For checkboxes, there is operation. For checkboxes, you can perform like on and off, check and uncheck. For the radio button, you cannot perform on and off. Okay. So as per the application, which one is selected? Wine is selected. Okay. Now what we need to do is, I would like to select beer. Now see, using get attribute, we are getting each and every element information. Now I wanted to compare, or I want to compare whatever you are getting the string, that string is equal to beer. Click on beer radio button. If element dot equals, so which one? If element dot equals, that is beer, then go and click on the element, radio button dot click. Now see, it clicked on the beer, run as Java application. Okay, right click, run as Java application. Now see, it selected beer. Okay, now it selected beer. Okay, so this is the way you need to perform the radio buttons. Yeah. Any doubts? Kusuma side. Oh, Rosie is left. Okay. Next.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So let us look into another concept called logger. Another concept called logger. See, what is this log file? Log file, when you're running your scripts, whatever the element information or whatever the information which we are storing or which we are trying to display, that that information it is going to show in the log file. So right now what we are doing is we are saving or we are storing in the system.out.println. So whatever the messages we want to display, those things and all, it is showing in the console. But displaying the output is not that much reliable in the console. Displaying the output in the console is not that much reliable. Let's say during testing, if you are getting any issue, during testing, if you are getting any issue, displaying the element information on the console is not that much reliable. So what I would like to do is, whenever a program is running, the information whatever you wanted to display, it's better to store in the uh, a file, a simple text file. Okay. So that is called a log file. Generally, this log file is taken care by a developer person. But automation point of view, developing log file is your duty because you also like a developer. So how to store the information in the log file? So that is the question. See, to work with this log file, we need some external jar file like log4j jar file to store the log information. To store this log information, we need log4j. Okay. So what we need to do is we need to download this log4j jar file. So how to download this log4j? Go to Google. Try to use POI. POI. Download POI. POI. See, actually we are going to use this POI jar files to work with Excel sheets. Inside this POI jar files, it also contains log4j. So for both the purposes, I'm trying to download this Apache Poi. So this POI is provided by a company called, or a community called Apache. Okay, so those guys, they provided this POI jar files, POI jar files. Okay, download release artifacts. Yeah, this what happened. So this is not official website. See poi.apache.org. So this is official website. Maybe this site is down for maintenance. Right. Okay. So this is the official website for the POI. Okay. Now here it contains different kind of binary files. We are working with Windows operating system. I should download this binary zip file. Okay. So nobody is going to look for, okay, we need to work with the latest binary versions. And okay, it's not required. So what I'll do is, instead of getting like the latest version, I'll use some other old version. So I am going to provide one library file which is using for to work with Excel sheets. Okay. So for that reason, what I'm using is I'm going to use some kind of old version. So that Excel file, that library file implemented based on the 3.1x, sorry, 16 version, or 3.16 or 17 or anything. So what I'll do is download this zip file. Okay. So still it is downloading.
This conference will now be recorded.
Show in folder, copy and put it in the Kusuma folder, paste it. So extract it, unzip it, unzip it. Okay. Got it. Unzip it. Okay. Extract it. So inside this PY, there is a folder. It contains so many PY jar files. Okay. So how to use this PY for working with Excel, that we will discuss in the next class. Now ours is we need to use log4j. See, there is a folder called lib folder. Inside that there is log4j. So because of that reason, we downloaded this PY. So it contains both PY as well as log4j. Okay. Actually, this log4j is also product of Apache guys. So we need to use this log4j. So what I'll do is, let me add this jar file. Right click, go to properties, Java build path, add external jar, py lib log4j, apply and close. Now we added log4j also. Hmm. So how to work with this log4j and how to work with Excel sheets, that we will discuss it. Actually, that time will not be sufficient. So we will discuss it log4j and Excel sheets tomorrow.